You know what I've noticed about myself, and this is not an attempt to make myself sound more interesting than I actually am, but I've noticed that I tend to be really cerebral in the way I try to process things. For example, The Rise of Skywalker. I made a video talking about my favorite Star Wars moments, and The Force Awakens was among said favorite moments. And I made a Last Jedi video talking about The Last Jedi long after the fact, long after the conversation had died. Actually, that's not true. The conversation surrounding The Last Jedi will never, ever die. Yeah, here I am, more than a year later, talking about The Rise of Skywalker, long after the conversation has passed. But like I said, I am rather cerebral in the way I process things. Like I sit there and I don't necessarily let my thoughts fester. I try my best to form the way I feel into somewhat of a cohesive narrative, like I'm trying to tell a story. So here I am, The Rise of Skywalker, or at least The Rise of Skywalker, and my my opinions on Reylo. I know a lot of people, they don't like The Last Jedi. Many people don't like The Rise of Skywalker. Me, The Force Awakens. Somehow, even after all this time, I still love The Force Awakens. I do. Not even recently, like maybe 5 or 6 months ago, I rewatched The Force Awakens.
And I enjoyed every single minute of it.
Because it simply felt like a shot to the heart. It felt like a new beginning. Like the possibilities were endless with The Force Awakens. And The Last Jedi, in my Last Jedi video, I don't even remember what I said in that, but I'm pretty sure I said, I feel The Last Jedi is a good film. But the questions brought up by The Force Awakens were unfortunately completely thrown to the wayside by The Last Jedi. It pissed me off, and it still pisses me off. I'll say that. I guess Rian Johnson was like, hey, there's no game plan of how the story's supposed to go, so I'm just gonna do my own thing. I respect that to some degree, but at the same time, you kind of need to read the room. A lot of fans will say, oh, I want things to be different. But in reality, we fucking don't. We want things to more or less stay the same, just repackaged in a certain way. All right, to kind of fool us into thinking we're seeing something new when we actually get something that subverts our expectations, not necessarily makes the story better, but it subverts our expectations. We get mad. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. And The Rise of Skywalker, in my opinion, is the worst of the sequel trilogy. Say what you will about The Force Awakens. Oh, it was a rehash of A New Hope. Yes, it was. Say what you will about The Last Jedi. Oh, it feels like nothing happened. That's true. In my opinion, The Rise of Skywalker is a pussy move. Hear me out. You knew that you did not make a game plan. Was it really difficult to kind of plan out where you wanted the story to go? No, you wanted to release Star Wars films to, get money coming in. And the sad part is they got money. Every single film, except for Solo, every single film made a profit. But in terms of the story, you couldn't be bothered to actually sit down with your writers and directors and be like, hey, episode 7, this is what we're gonna do. Episode 8, this is what we're gonna do. Episode 9, this is what we're gonna do. I mean, like, after all that time and money you spent advertising The Last Jedi, because people don't like it, you are now going to show the fact that you are completely spineless and more or less completely retcon episode 8 in a desperate attempt to make fans happy, and yet as a result, you ended up impressing nobody. Like the people who run Lucasfilm. How does this work in your brain? You needed a Kevin Feige to tell the story of the sequel trilogy. It's just like every film more or less is disconnected, and it's disappointing to say the least. I mean, seriously? Rey as a Palpatine? That's fanfic level writing. That is abysmal. And the fact that The Rise of Skywalker, for some reason, just completely went out of its way to legitimize Reylo. Not even because I love Finn and Rey together in The Force Awakens, not even just because of that, but Reylo, that's a terrible idea. And I could go and try to formulate my thoughts and try to explain why I personally believe Reylo is a bad idea, which I'm sure I'm going to do, but I think I'm just gonna read a bunch of people's opinions on Reylo, all right? So more or less, that's how I feel about The Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker was, I could go on all day, but yo, Rise of Skywalker wanted so bad to be Endgame. Wow, like, oh no, this is it. I thought we were gonna make it, guys. And then the whole cavalry shows up. Literally everybody in the galaxy shows up. Also, Palpatine just in general. Just the simple fact that they didn't have a plan going on. They brought back... just the simple fact that they brought back Palpatine for episode 9. Palpatine is now the one constant in every single Star Wars trilogy. Since Jump, he's been playing everybody for a fool. Now that you brought Palpatine in episode 9, you retroactively turned the trilogies from the Skywalker saga to the Palpatine saga. Because let's face it, the only living person at the end is a Palpatine. I don't give a shit if Rey calls herself a Skywalker. She's a Palpatine. Every other Skywalker is dead. Wow. Also, Kylo Ren turning good. No, I mean, I'm not opposed to him turning good, but the way they did it, I don't like it. Because I've heard people try to justify this and say, Han is a Force ghost. That was your first mistake by saying Han was a Force ghost. But yeah, Han was a Force ghost and he forgave Kylo Ren for killing him. No, Han is a normal human, all right? He's not one with the Force. There's nothing in the previous films to indicate that Han has been one with the Force at all. So the way I interpreted Kylo Ren turning good was him just imagining like, hey, what if my dad kind of forgave me for stabbing him through the chest when he was trying to help me? Okay, that works for me. I'm good now. Yeah, and honestly, it's not like Ben Solo, when he became reformed, it's not like he even did anything. He just defeated the Knights of Ren, which was oh my god, the Knights of Ren. So apparently, what, the Knights of Ren were just completely forgotten in The Last Jedi? That was one of my complaints about The Last Jedi. The Knights of Ren, and now they're just bumfuck nobodies who just, they do nothing, and then they get killed by Ben Solo, and then the Reylo kiss. I do not agree with Reylo. I just don't. Again, it's not even because I want Finn and Rey to get together. At this point, I'm not even on the Finn Rey train. The only time I would actually want Finn Rey is if I'm watching The Force Awakens, because these two had such great chemistry. But The Last Jedi completely separated them for the entire movie. I don't even think they said one word to each other throughout the entire film, even when they hugged and got back. Rise of Skywalker. Like, the novelty was just gone by that point. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel it. I felt nothing. There's so much stupidity in The Rise of Skywalker. So Finn said he wanted to tell Rey something. There were people saying that Finn wanted to tell Rey that he's Force sensitive. They tried to deflect away from the obvious. All right, when you're about to die, all right, why would you want to tell someone, hey, I'm Force sensitive? No. It would make more sense if Finn said, I never told you this, but I love you, Rey. I mean, it would be sappy, but that would make more sense. I mean, you're both about to die as far as you know, so just get your feelings out as quickly as possible. Why would you tell someone, hey, I'm Force sensitive? Yeah, like being Force sensitive helped you in this specific moment. It didn't. And also, it's not even like he even told her. The way the film was edited, they said, hey, I never told you this. And then, right, that's the end of it. And then Rey brings it back up. And then he's like, hey, what were you going to say? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you later. He never does. I'm pretty sure there was a way to edit this entire movie where you didn't have that exchange at all. I'm not a fan of The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not. And also, Rey's a Palpatine. I know I brought this up earlier, but seriously, Rey as a Palpatine. Okay, so this is why I call The Rise of Skywalker a pussy move. Because people like me, did not respond well to the revelation that Rey was a nobody. I get it. But you chose to put this film forth for the masses. And now when people don't like it, what the hell is wrong with you?
I'm afraid it's a little too late to backtrack the entire last film.
And now, because at the final stretch, we're almost at the home run, now you have to hit us with this revelation, oh, Rey's a Palpatine. So we have to have this rushed exposition of how her parents left her on, her dad was the son of Palpatine. That's a story in and of itself, but like I said, we're almost at the home run, so we don't have time to delve deep into that story. I guess Palpatine was looking for Rey, and to save her life, they put her on Jakku. That was it. the parents got killed, and this is not to necessarily justify the dumb narrative choices that The Last Jedi made, because like I said, there were choices made in The Last Jedi that I 100% did not agree with. But the simple fact that you knew that you were going to put The Last Jedi out, knowing good and goddamn well you did not have a plan for where this whole story was going to go. And now, because apparently you're shocked that people don't like what you put forth, now you're going to completely backtrack and retcon what you decided to put forth.
Look, you made a choice. Stick with it.
I've ranted about The Rise of Skywalker for as long as I can. Now let me go into the actual point of this video. All right. So now I'm going to start dunking on Reylo. So this person writing this article says, if I may be blunt, Reylo is an awful ship that borders on disgusting and dangerous. You might be thinking, Professor, it's a fictional ship between two characters. What's so disgusting and dangerous that makes you think it's awful? Given that multiple times Kylo has tried to manipulate and or even kill Rey during episodes 7 and 8, it completely boggles my mind how something so irredeemably psychotic can be turned into fluffy romance or even be ignored as if it doesn't matter. The way I see Reylo, it's nothing more than toxic, and it borders on abusive relationships that honestly should never ever be romanticized. Kylo has proven several times that he is not a good guy. He killed his father in front of Rey. He is prone to anger quickly and will not hesitate to kill to get what he wants. He has tried to manipulate Rey on occasions by bringing up that she has no family and that he is the only one that can understand her.
You have no place in this story. You come from nothing. You're nothing.
You dumb motherfucker.
Because that's the thing to say to a girl that you like, right? Fuck out of here. And when I see behavior being brushed under the rug like it's no big deal, that irks me. Because not only is it denying the fact that this character has done some horrible things that has harmed other characters, kind of like slicing Finn up the back, right? But no. Apparently that's fine. That's understandable. That's fine. He's a good guy deep down. Get the fuck out of here. Because not only is it denying the fact that this character has done some horrible things that has harmed other characters, it tells me that people don't care about the actions that the character has done. This person goes on to more or less justify Anakin and Padme's relationship. I'm like, I'm not a fan of Anakin and Padme's relationship. I'm not. But to Padme's defense, even if somehow she completely dropped the ball in episode 2 in understanding how bad of a guy Anakin is, at least in episode 3, she kind of understood that, hey, this guy... Can we just talk about Finn and how he was wasted? He was advertised as a stormtrooper turned Jedi. That alone is a great story opportunity, but no. And honestly, much like how his actor John Boyega straight up said, I think it's because of optics, as in because he's black. I vividly remember where apparently John Boyega said that J.J. Abrams said to him that you're the new star of Star Wars. Yes, can I take sentences that aged very poorly for 200, Alex? I mean, it's not like they didn't show Rey, but like, yo, like damn near every trailer was capped off with Finn holding the lightsaber. It was like, yo, this gonna be the new Jedi. And he wasn't. And The Last Jedi, he, like I said in my video for that, he didn't have anything to do. The Rise of Skywalker, my man is just literally relegated to yelling Rey, Rey, Rey. And oh my gosh, she does not give a shit. Like, that's crazy, because in Force Awakens, I was like, yo, I'd really like for these two to get together. I don't really need for them to get together. I don't really expect for them to get together because of optics. But yeah, I'd love for them to get together. And by The Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, yo, Finn, get out of there, bro. She does not give a shit about you. She all about this asshole. Leave. Please, for your own sake, just bounce. She's not with it. And you know the funny part? They put in Janna. They put in a black girl to take Finn's attention now. And she's apparently just like Finn, right? Because Finn cannot get Rey now we're going to introduce this character who is among his own complexion, who shares much of his same origins, being a stormtrooper. Can we talk about the fact that the Stormtrooper Rebellion completely happened off screen? That was bullshit. If you're asking me, the Stormtrooper Rebellion should have been seen on screen, and it should have happened as a result of Finn becoming part of the Resistance. Fine, you could have Janna as part of the Stormtrooper Rebellion, and you can have her go out of her way to seek out Finn, all right? right? But show that shit on screen. Don't say, oh yeah, they ordered us to fire on XYZ, but then I put my weapon down. Literally the same story beats as Finn. But my point is, what was I saying? Yeah, they introduced this new character who looks like Finn and has a lot of the same origins, so he doesn't need to worry about Rey, right? Rey's free to be with this fucking asshole while Jenna and Finn go off on their adventure. And the sad part is, Jenna has proved that she's a real one. She has proven that. It's like, yo, Finn was on like, what was it, the Star Destroyer? And yeah, he was talking to homegirl. He was like, yo, just go, all right? I got this. I'm gonna take care of whatever. And Jenna was like, I'm staying with you. And I was like, Finn, I'll tell you right now, boy, do not let Jenna go. She a good one. She good for you, bro. She gonna stay with you till the end. Nah. That's exactly what the filmmakers wanted. They wanted me to forget about Finn and Rey so that it would make the idea of Rey and Kylo more acceptable. But no, Rey and Kylo still unacceptable, completely unacceptable. And no, not even just because I would love Finn and Rey to get together. I don't know if I illustrated it, but at this point, I don't want that. But just Rey and Kylo is just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I know, I said Rey, like, she don't care about Finn no more, but like, just compare from The Force Awakens. Meanwhile, in Rise of Skywalker, I mean, I guess that's supposed to illustrate, oh, because she's a Palpatine, she has evil blood running through her veins. She's dangerous to her own compatriots. Man, Finn got wasted in so many ways. John Boyega agrees, like I said. In fact, let's talk about it. John Boyega, now free of his responsibilities to Disney and the Star Wars franchise, has made his thoughts clear about various aspects of the experience, more so than anyone else involved. Good on you, John. I swear, man. Hell yeah. Shit, man. I'm glad he said everything. I wish I was able to find like the full article. Nah. Oh shit, here we go. Anyway, in the GQ article, John Boyega said, it's so difficult to maneuver. You get yourself involved in projects and you're not necessarily going to like everything. But what I would say to Disney is, do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. He's talking about himself here, about the character of Finn, the former stormtrooper who wielded a lightsaber in the first film before being somewhat nudged to the periphery, somewhat generous. He is also talking about other people of color in the cast, Naomi Ackie and Kelly Marie Tran. Yo, another tangent. Can we talk about how Kelly Marie Tran completely got a slew of hate for no reason? Yo, Star Wars fans, I'm not even talking about myself here because, look, I do not like Kylo Ren right now. I don't even like Rey anymore. But I'm not gonna go after their actors. Like, yo, what Daisy really did to me? Nothing. What Adam Driver did to me? No, why is it so difficult for people to apparently separate fiction from reality? If you don't like a character, okay, don't go after their performer, all right? They're just a person doing their job. Kelly Marie Tran was someone doing her job. And then she got such a slew of hate for what? For what? What's wrong with you people? No, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Every fandom just has a toxic side, man. Like, yo, can't have nice things, man. Naomi Ackie and Kelly Marie Tran, and even Oscar Isaac, a brother from Guatemala, who he feels suffered the same treatment. He is acknowledging that some people will say he's crazy or making it up, but the reordered character hierarchy of The Last Jedi was particularly hard to take. You guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You guys knew what to do with Adam Driver. You knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you knew fuck all. So what do you want me to say? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody knows this. I'm not exposing anything. Woo! John Boyega, man! Because honestly, if John Boyega did not come out and just say this, I highly doubt anybody would have. He was consistently advertised as the star of The Force Awakens. And now he's just completely pushed to the side by the time of Rise of Skywalker. Now back to Reylo. This Reddit post. It seems that the actors from... It seems that the actors don't really get down with Reylo either, so I can't really get behind Reylo, no. What are your thoughts on Reylo? I try not to think about it. Adam Driver addresses objections some may have to hashtag Kylo and Rey. Ew. I can see on the outside, if I analyzed it, which I don't, that someone who killed his class doesn't really seem to be good boyfriend material. And John Boyega going on a roll. I remember this post. I remember this, and man, Reylo's got pissed. Wow. Yeah, Star Wars romance. No, seriously. How do you look at this and actually see a healthy relationship? No, seriously. How do you? It makes zero sense. I don't understand I don't get it. So this is how the non-toxic Reylo fans treat John Boyega when he criticizes Reylo. They made out. Get over it. We won. What did you win? Apparently people are pissed that Kylo Ren is dead. So did you really win? I don't know what's wrong with you people. But all right. I didn't know there was something to win. Reylo is canon. Our interpretation is vindicated. Yours is wrong. Get over it. But I'm not against Reylo, only acknowledging that their relationship is toxic. So I'm not sure why you are trying to lord this ship over somebody's head. Kylo and Rey are toxic, but not Ben and Rey.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
All right, so yeah, I found this Tumblr thing. I'm not a fan of Tumblr because Tumblr is insane, but I just found this, and yeah, let me read it. As someone who loves enemies to lovers ships, Reylo, damn, they try to censor Reylo like it's a slur or something. Reylo really pisses me off because it misses so many of the important steps on the journey. For one thing, there's just never a point where Kyle
My name is not Kia
actually seems to respect her. Even at the beginning of The Rise of Skywalker, he's still insisting he understands her, insisting she'll go to the dark side, telling her what she'll do, trying to manipulate her with her blood. He's still so far gone that his mother has to straight up die to get him to stop. And then Rey heals him, and we don't see them together again until the final fight. There's no conversation where they actually seem to like each other, where he asks her what she feels. Almost all their scenes are about him and not her. She brings up a good point. It also misses the essential guilt aspects of the enemies to lovers thing. Usually the villain of the couple has to have a moment where they apologize to the hero, where they grovel for treating them terribly, where they admit wrong, where they ask for forgiveness. Kind of reminds me of this character from this show that was inspired by Asian folklore. I think the character's name started with a Z.
Hello, Zuko here.
Yeah, everybody want to be Zuko, but don't nobody want to put in the work. Kyle never does. Why you keep calling him Kyle? Whatever, I'll take it.
That's cute. Whatever, count.
Kyle never does any of that. He never apologizes for fighting Rey or pushing her into almost murdering a friend or calling her nothing or trying to turn her to the dark side or rooting her around in her head or scaring her. Never once. Is there an apology? No, you're right on that point. The only one who ever feels guilt is Rey. Rey for when she stabbed him and he deserved that if only she let him die. Why? So many question marks. Their relationship was just so clunky. It was written by someone who watched Enemies to Lovers before and and only has a rudimentary idea of what it is. It's just so bad. It's so bad. And it was so clear through the whole movie how much more Finn actually cared about Rey and what she thought and how she felt. But no, we gotta go with discount sad boy Vader and invalidate everyone else's arcs and ignore every single possible nice relationship built on mutual respect. Trash.
Trash will always be trash.
I love you. I guess we're gonna go to the Finn Rey aspect of it, and then we're gonna cap it off with a final Reylo. I'm still salty about what happened to Finn Rey. I can understand, kind of indifferent, but I'm here for the drama. Let's go. Yeah, apologies for the shipper flavored rant. This is only one of the many things I dislike about The Last Jedi. But for fuck's sake, they were actually believable as friends, clearly liked each other in real life, and I could have easily seen a friends to lovers thing happening. But then they had about 30 seconds of screen time together in all of The Last Jedi. Finn gets another love interest shoehorned into the story. They have Rey get flustered at shirtless Swallow Ren and then spend the whole movie inexplicably trying to redeem the space Nazi who violated her, killed his own father, and maimed Finn 48 hours previously. Makes perfect sense.
Do the math! It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
So, yep, still salty, no apologies. And I'm gonna read this comment. I'm going down there. I'm going to throw this out there, and it might draw some heat, but I think it was Disney tiptoeing up to the line, but not quite ready to commit to an interracial leading couple. Yes. Yeah, it's not the first time Hollywood has done this. I recognize that Finn Rose is also interracial, but a black-white pairing is way more controversial than others. And it's not even like they did anything with Rose either way. I'd like to think there's an alternate universe where the sequel trilogy actually turned out fucking great. But I would like to think that the main constant in all these alternate universes is that The Force Awakens stays the same. Wholeheartedly, it was just a ripoff of A New Hope. But god damn it if I didn't want to see where these characters were gonna go. As long as it just gave Star Wars the necessary shot to the heart that it needed. And then it's like, as the movies went on, the adrenaline just wore off. Just keep The Force Awakens the same as it is, as long as you hammer down the actual stories of 8 and 9. All right, we got these characters in their starting positions. What are we gonna do now? We need to sit down and figure out the stories of 8 and 9. Let's hammer that home ASAP. But they didn't, and they still turned a profit. But back to the interracial leading couple thing. Yep, this is the troubling thing. They didn't just not go with Finn Rey, they actively ran away from it and salted the earth to make absolutely clear to the audience that it wouldn't be a thing. Can't have the Disney princess pairing off with someone like that. Message is loud and clear. This, what people willfully refuse to understand about this. A black man romantically involved with a white woman on screen is a huge taboo in Hollywood. So long as the male character is white, interracial romance is a-okay, baby. Which, I will say, that seems to be a thing. Exceptions to the rule exist, but more often than not, just like a woman of color is a main character, almost always her love interest is gonna be a white guy. Like I said, exceptions to the rule exist, but as what is immediately prevalent to the eyes, this is what I see. Back to Finn Rey, the Tumblr post. Anonymous asked, it makes me so angry, well, it's not a question, but it makes me so angry at how Disney wasted Finn Rey. Their narrative was all about belonging and looking forward, not back. I get the appeal of enemies to friends to lovers, but Finn Rey was just wasted. And for what? Kylo dies. Are they seriously just censoring Kylo? Okay. Kylo dies, she ends up alone. They could have explored redemption with a sibling dynamic between Reylo. Romance wasn't needed there, but you can't have an interracial relationship in a Disney film. And anyway, a bad guy needs the promise of a cute girlfriend to pull him towards the light. Aegon replied, literally everyone I know who watched The Force Awakens when it first came out were so sure that Finn and Rey would get together. Two people from totally different walks of life, on the run, fighting against a fascist order, finding a family in each other, looking for a home, scared shitless yet still so brave, in way over their heads, but still standing tall, like they are perfection? I mean, that was part of the appeal of it, yeah. Instead of Rey becoming some consolation prize for someone finding their lackluster conscience, Finn and Rey worked off each other and built themselves up. They were a team, partners, always there for each other. For Finn, Rey was always Rey. It had nothing to do with her power, nothing to do with what she offered him, and everything to do with who she was. He loved her, she loved him, with or without the Force. I mean, I see what you're saying, yeah. I don't know if we reached love at that point, you know, at the end of The Force Awakens. I don't think we reached that, but like clearly they were all each other had at that point in time. Kylo came into the mix and ruined everything. I mean, isn't that an amazing message that you don't need to be powerful to get someone's attention? That you could be some scavenger somewhere or some lost soul wandering in a desert and you'd still find someone who sees the light in you, who thought you were special when everyone thought differently. Finn Rey is literally the type of relationship that's healthy enough for kids to aspire to. Yes, enemies to lovers is a sexy trope, but what will we be promoting here? Finding love with the friend who's always looked out for you, or one where you hurt each other over and over until by some miracle he sees the light? I'm just so tired of seeing poisonous romances on TV. It's 2020, and interracial relationships are still something we consider progressive or groundbreaking, when it should be as normal as anything else. I just want a relationship that I can look at and think, yeah, that's what I want for myself too, that I can show to my teenage cousin and say, find you someone like that. As young kids, we look towards the media we consume and the relationships around us to help us develop our own sense of what we want too. Kids should be able to look towards one of the biggest franchises in the world and see something inspirational there. Especially in today's age, the age of divisions, the age where racial and LGBT equality is still an issue, Disney deciding that the whitest, most heteronormative ship should be validated despite its numerous issues is somehow more appealing than two realistic interracial romances is just, honestly, I have no words. The fuck is wrong with them? The fuck kind of message is that? Fuck me.
You dumb motherfuckers!
And I love the tag. The Rise of Skywalker made me very anti-Reylo, and I'm not sorry. Romanticizing abuse isn't cool, kids. That's true. Especially in a massive blockbuster franchise made for families with kids. And finally, we're going to cap it off with one last Reddit post. Reylo sends a potentially dangerous message to impressionable young girls. I know everyone around here hates the Rey-Kylo ship for obvious reasons, particularly because of its abusive nature. I think its worst offense isn't that it's simply tasteless, but dangerous. There are takeaways from this romance that can perpetuate really bad relationships by promoting the "I can change him" fallacy of many toxic relationships. The important thing to note is that The Rise of Skywalker doesn't promote this fallacy in a direct way. Rey doesn't actively pursue Kylo in a romantic way. However, as the infamous kiss shows, she is more than willing to reward a guy who hasn't really atoned for his sins yet. The dude's got a laundry list of atrocities he has to amend for, but he settles for saving the hot girl and pieces out. Unlike Vader, who dies as a direct consequence of turning back to good, Kylo actively avoids the consequence by making an optional sacrifice after supposedly turning good. It can be argued then that his morality at this point is entirely fixated on Rey. I don't know if bringing up Vader is a good point, because Vader was clearly an accessory to a whole bunch of terrible shit that happened, and yeah, just one act of good absolves him of everything. I don't agree with that, and that was from the original trilogy. Clearly, the sequel trilogy took that and ran with it. Continuing, the parallel should be obvious to anyone who knows about the "I can change him" fallacy. The fallacy takes the idea of redemptive love and twists it by making the abused, usually portrayed as female, hold the keys to redemption. The obvious problem is, if the only thing keeping an abuser from an entire lifetime of abuse is his victim's charm or charisma, then the abuser has no true change of heart. He only holds back to get something he wants. In this case, to feed off the attention of or get favors from the abused. The abused is still treated as a commodity, a thing to be consumed. I know it can seem patronizing to portray this issue as a potential risk to young and impressionable people, but if you pay attention to Reylo shippers, the logic I've shown above is playing out in practice. Reylo shippers are not often nice people, often portraying the very symptoms of toxicity that skeptics accuse the ship of portraying. All many of them care about is this vague, all-encompassing realization of passion that breaks down all barriers, including moral barriers. And just as many seem perfectly fine with unleashing abuse themselves, they are not just the promoters of an unrealistic and toxic relationship, they are the realization of that toxicity. One shudders to think what an actual relationship with them is like. In conclusion, Rise of Skywalker lays a dangerous trap to The Rise of Skywalker lays a dangerous trap to susceptible people by following a toxic yet surprisingly subtle logic that can trip up the more idealistic romantics among us. Many Reylos are simply immature, and I hope they will grow out of their obsession with experience. However, a minority will take its messages to heart and may end up making many regrettable decisions. As such, I don't think it's too much to ask that Hollywood puts a little more thought in how they portray villainous relationships in their media. So, that last article was a lot heavier than the others. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know what abusive relationships are like. But simply put, there's a certain amount of logic that one has to assess this current situation with. You have to take everything that you've seen and say, hey, is this a good relationship or not? Simply put, Reylo is not.
Agreed.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the worst.
Oh, it's just dead, man.
Because they're constantly at war with each other, literally up until the climax of the film. And for some reason, this is supposed to be a good relationship that gets validated. Like I said, the Rise of Skywalker, like they really went out of their way to validate Reylo. But even then, they didn't even go all the way with it. They just left it at the end.
You know, it seems like you're so afraid to disappoint anyone that you end up disappointing everyone.
Truer words have never been spoken.
High five!
But yeah, that's more or less how I feel about the Rise of Skywalker. I hope everybody's all right. I'll see you when I see. I didn't even say I'm the methodical triple. It's whatever. Anyway, I'm the methodical AAA. And peace. Finn Ray forever.